And I'm already working on the next one.
You just love doing that.
I do. They're so much fun.
Yeah, I would too. I would too.
They just kind of help tell stories in between and kind of follow us as we're going through the journey so far.
I feel like I need to stand here ready to attack until the bar fills up and then wait for the bar again.
So where we last left off, the team began in the completely abandoned Cerulean palace of Ank'Harel. The party investigated Jamansa Ord's personal chambers, focusing on the cryptic message written on the wall. Hell has opened its mouth. We are all doomed. Look for the library under the water. Find the truth of this place before. Cora examined the blood and determined it was approximately 5 days old. Professor Jalbatros noted that while Ank'Harel has 2 major libraries, the Omnival Library and the Temple of the Mentor, neither are known to be underwater. Finding no other clues or bodies in the palace, the party headed outside towards the Oasis garden. As the group descended the stairs and headed out the front doors of the Cerulean Palace, a mechanical bronze dragon that seemed fully and magically animated landed in front of them. A fight ensued. At the end of the fight, investigating the remains, the party realized this wasn't a standard construct. It was a pile of scrap metal, specifically Bassaris bronze from the Hellcatch Valley, matching materials used by the Artificer Crimp, held together by a very powerful animate object spell. Exploring the Oasis Gardens, Cora discovered a chilling sight, a massive mile-wide trail of trampled earth where the entire population of the city had marched in an orderly fashion. Thousands of footprints carved a deep groove into the ground, leading directly into a nearby building. The citizens had casually dropped meager possessions at the entrance before descending. Dormir reunited with the group, bringing a bag of helpful potions he found in the palace, including potions of water breathing. He theorized that the population was under some massive compulsion or charm spell. When told about the underwater library, Dormir revealed the dark truth. Beneath Ank'Harel lies Kyle Moreau, an ancient elven city that sank beneath an underground lake during the calamity. The Allegiance of Allsight had recently built an excavated library annex down in the drowned city. After using Prayer of Healing to gain the benefits of a long rest, the party prepared for the dark descent. Buffed with dark vision and passed without a trace, despite Cora suffering a wild magic surge that covered her in acidic sap, they followed the trampled path down a massive spiraling stone stairwell.
That was me. I failed all the saves, not Cora.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It wasn't Cora.
I failed so many saves.
We left off at the bottom of the descent. The party emerged onto a muddy lake shore, completely churned up by thousands of footprints leading straight into the underground lake. Before them stood a magically warded keystone doorway leading into a transparent excavated hallway structure built beneath the water. As you guys are now standing amongst the first of keystones underneath Ank'Harel. What would you guys like to do next?
So, Dormir, how'd you say these keystones work?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. While I can magically attempt to interpret them, give me a moment. Dormir walks through the mud over the gravel trail and stands in front of one of them. Well, they seem to have simple magical activations. Nothing too untoward. It would appear that this would allow us to enter into the hallway beyond.
Well, all right. Ford gonna try to walk on through.
As you head up towards the keystone, you watch as he says something in Elvish. The keystone flares with a bit of light, and then the invisible barrier fades.
Wait, now, what'd you say there?
Enter.
All right. Look,
if
we got to go to the next one and you're not with us, we got to know how to get through.
Well, you just keep in mind, these keystones are specifically designed to keep the water out while they excavate certain regions. I believe this is the initial hallway that they started with. I would expect us to be able to find the annex. That should be the major library that they excavated that would have given them all their information about the sunken city. And then beyond that, other hallways and other keystones to take us to other parts of the Trial Morrow.
Right. Well, I'll take a look around first, just seeing if it's still tracks and tracks headed down here, or
none of the tracks go into the keystone. All of the tracks go into the mile shoreline of the lake, which is by itself, kind of like a typical beach at a lake. The first hallway with the first keystone starts to go into the water directly, but the keystone allows the water to be magically kind of pressed away from the hallway. Mm-hmm. So within the first 20 feet of the hallway, you're actually underwater. You're in the lake water. It's just that the keystone keeps the water away so you can physically traverse through the hallway.
Yeah. So Bourne's perspective of it was, we were following this massive migration of people down here.
Right.
Does it appear
and all of those
still
footprints went into the lake over by the lake shore's edge?
Different area. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all one side. Okay. And then to your right, the first keystone takes you down into the beginnings of the sunken city.
So is there any indication if these people were going into the water? Are there dead bodies?
Give me perception or survival, your choice.
Well, let's see what we're at.
Can I make a perception from in the water at that point?
15.
So you're going in the hallway, right?
Yeah, I'm in the hallway already. Yeah, okay. I went in the hallway first.
Okay.
I got a 15 storyteller perception.
15? You definitely don't see any bodies, which is definitely suspicious.
I got from in the hallway, I got 14.
You don't see any bodies either, but the water is incredibly murky. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a green-blue kind of swirl of opaque colors. You see that the hallway extends through the water another 100 feet until it gets to another keystone, and it looks like that keystone will take you into a rather large structure. That could be the library annex.
Hey guys, look! Everything down here right now is. We can get through here, and the water's not. There's no water. It's out of the way, muddy, but we can make it.
Yeah, and we're supposed to go to the library. What's suspicious is these people seem to have gone into the water, but there's no traces of their bodies or anything.
I agree. I don't see anything down here either, but it's also muggy and gross.
I know we have some water-breathing potions, and I know it was indicated to us that there might be some shops or bazaars down here that would allow us to get some devices that we can breathe underwater. I know this path, there's not a problem, but I'm hoping as we go down this path, we can find more of that, because I want to see where these people potentially went under the water.
No, I agree.
I think we need to head first towards this large building that appears to be the library.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes out for any shops that we can get some sort of water-breathing technology that someone referenced to us.
I think it was Dormir talking to us earlier. Yeah.
Dormir, do you have a rough map of this place?
No, I've never been here before. I just understand it contextually.
Okay. Well, follow your lead then.
Really? Me? I'm so squishy.
I'm in.
I'll trot ahead.
I'm up here. I'm already in the hole. Like I'm just at the next keystone. I'm gonna try to activate the next keystone, just looking at it and saying enter in Elvish. Yeah.
As you approach the next keystone entrance, everyone begins to file in behind you. It's it works as expected, but it's interesting. As soon as everyone enters into the hallway, the keystone closes automatically behind you, because the next keystone won't open unless the previous keystone is closed, because you guys are now officially underwater at this point. Currently, you get the feeling that you're maybe between 50 to 80 feet on average underwater, while the initial entrance into the hallway keystone and now this next keystone, which seems to take you into another large structure. This next structure, well, it's almost like an area of preparation, a place where people were prepared to gather equipment, make last-minute details. It feels like a gathering point before heading further. And that's when you guys see on the wall a rather large map. All of it keynoted. So let me drop this in Discord for you. Oh my God, Professor, you post the funniest goddamn pictures.
Turtle penguin with a lightsaber.
Yeah, the turtle penguin. Although I'm really digging the idea of Ryan's one-shot character. That's going to be pretty cool.
I was looking up who are the pettiest creatures.
You guys are currently in the M3 location of the map, the very top.
Right.
And from everything you could tell, this particular room feels like it is both a gathering point for people that are going to prepare to do more excavation work downstairs. You can even see a sign at this gathering point, as it's called the Allegiance of All Sites Excavation Chamber. You can see strange devices. You can see strange ceramic pots with ingredients. You can see numerous boxes, say on the side of the box, a potion of water breathing on them. There's equipment, there's shovels, axes, there's rope and chain, and it just feels like if you were going to take a dip into an excavation site, feels like that beginning point to do it.
Let's pause here a moment. I'm going to take off the portable hold. Gosh, every time because I want to call it a bag of holding, and it's not.
Called a floor of holding.
Right?
That helps.
I take out the portable hole, and I'm like, let's look. This is some very expensive stuff. We can, make like kings when we get out of here. Hopefully. Also, who knows when you need 1,000 potions of water breathing? We might.
I'm not opposed.
Like Forn is, as he's talking, Forn is taking the crates of water breathing potions and putting them in the portable hole.
Yeah, you gather 10 of them.
10 crates.
They're not very big. I mean, they're small crates, each containing 25 water breathing potions.
And then anything that looks useful on the walls, I'm taking it and dropping it in the hole. Anything that's not immediately usable.
Give me a investigation check to see if anything. I mean, plenty of mundane things, but give me an investigation check to see if you find anything of interest.
That's not bad. 11 plus 5, 16.
Nothing here has been used for a long time. Everything here has specific purpose for excavating. Whoever was running this place was well organized. But unfortunately, nothing really catches your eye. Nothing out of the ordinary other than the potions, which were clearly being used by people that would come down here to go out into those sites that don't have keystones to prevent them from being flooded. The map definitely tells you guys that all the areas available to you on the map are currently keystoned and therefore able to be physically entered into without water breathing. Otherwise, the deeper you go down, the map tells you you get hundreds and hundreds of feet deeper into the lake as well. Wherever you see the double doors and the keystone markings, you could consider those spots dry and usable and able to be investigated pretty simply. But beyond those protected keystones is the vast nature of the 100 to 1,000 square mile lake that just continues on beyond where all the keystones are. Far, looking through the translucent force barriers that the keystones are responsible for, you still have yet to see anything under the water, including bodies.
Are there any components for these keystones in the room?
With that investigation roll, no. This doesn't feel like this is where that's fabricated.
Okay.
Chances are the fabrication of the keystones takes place at the Omnivial Library. The Omnivial Library is probably where that takes place.
All right. Well, guys, how we doing? I got the water breathing potions. We're ready to go.
The pressure on my ears is getting increasingly unpleasant down here. How far down are we going?
Judging by the map, it looks like a few hundred feet down. I mean, it's a lot longer to walk it, but depth-wise, gauging by the map, a couple hundred feet at least.
All right, let's keep moving.
You know, you might grab like a strip of leather and chew on it. It'll make you salivate, and it'll, help your ears regulate a little bit.
Melody's just doing the ear popping thing all the time.
It's an airship trick, when you're on an airship, you chew on a piece of leather and it helps regulate.
All right, on to M4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm next
Let's
keep
keep going.
around. Mm-hmm. But we gotta get in the room before we pop the other side open. So when we're ready,
you guys enter into the next hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To Melody's point, stepping out of the base camp and into the next hallway, you can feel that pressure build a little bit as the keystone seals behind you. The pressure dissipates. The next keystone is then opened, and you find yourself in what can only be described as a palatial guest house. It seems like maybe dignitaries or people that were brought down here to do studies and have conversations with the Allegiance of Allsight would stay here. And it's well kitted out. It's well fitted and, well tended to. Definitely can be used to take a long rest or short rest if you needed one. There's plenty of signs of food and other provisionings here. There are at least 12 rooms that service this massive guest quarters. But there is a sign at the next keystone that takes you further on. Once you're out of the guest house location, the guest house takes up the entire width and rotunda of the area of the map that you're currently in. There's a sign above that next keystone to the south that specifically says you're now entering an active excavation point, and to be cautious at all time, and be sure to begin taking your water breathing potions at this point.
And this is before, just map wise, this is 4A, 4B, and 4 all together, or?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
All three of those together is this massive.
Sign is where that arrow is, right?
No, I think the
sign's over the keystone.
M5.
Yeah, between
the sign over the keystone is before you would enter into M5.
Okay.
And that's when you guys realize that hallway is underwater.
All right. Well, Porn, toss me a potion.
Well, I mean, shouldn't we take the stuff out of the room first? I've taken out the portable hole and crack it open and hand out potions to everybody.
Okay.
Anything in here we want to take with us? Can I take a look at the food and just gauge how long it's been sitting here, or if it's like dried provisions, or is it prepared meals kind of thing?
The supposition has always been whatever has happened to Ank'Harel has happened within the last maybe 3 to 5 days, depending on the blood that was written on the wall. Mm-hmm. The fresh food is on the edge of becoming stale. There's lots of foods in containers and tins. There's kegs of wine and other beverages kind of spread throughout the royal guest house. This once used to be part of the ruins that are being excavated down below, but it's been converted to give people a place to stay in preparation of going further down into the excavation site. Everything here is not really older than 5 to a week in age of quality of the food and drink. In some cases, you don't see any like recent activity within the last week or even further. But then again, the place is well kept. There are usually people who are designated to clean and care for this place. But the place has a strange feeling of abandonment, like no one's used it for a while.
I'm going to, for sure, pack some of the barrels of beverage, assuming there's ale and not wine, because wine is not what we're born. Melody, do you want one of the barrels of wine? I can put it in here.
Yeah, should we have a glass before we head down? I feel like it's been a really rough morning.
There may be a barrel. Look, there might be a barrel already tapped over in the corner. I'm trying to get the fresh ones. Once it's tapped, it's going to be harder to get it down there.
And there's crates of bottled wine. There's crates of like liquor and whiskey and other things, all with like regional names attached to them. Marquesian whiskey. There's Dune Draught. There's like all these fancy beverages that people would probably, cater to themselves when they were down here for purposes of staying.
I'll pick whatever's fanciest and pop it open.
Nice bottle of this would probably be from Whitestone. A nice bottle of Whitestone, one of their finest. And as you guys partake in it, it's wonderful. It's nice. It's really good.
Should we start serving booze at the Prancing Centaur, like upstairs, fancy wine? When we get back?
Don't we have our little speakeasy underneath?
I like it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like classy stuff for people to pick up before they go home.
Look, I never went to a shop like a pawn shop that offered fresh beverages. I feel like that
it's not
a bad thing.
Prancing Centaur is not a pawn shop. We have like very fancy fine goods.
And you get people a little inebriated. They might spend more money than they would normally.
Look, it's fine goods, but how did we come across those fine goods?
We purchased them right? From an estate sale.
Very few of them. A lot of it we found and we put it on the walls. That's closer to a pawn shop to me, but whatever. Look, if you'll lubricate some people into wanting to buy more stuff, you'll lubricate other people into being belligerent. You gotta be prepared for both. If you want me to head to watch the top floor while in the daytime, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. As long as he's recovered. But
well, is there anything else of interest other than the ale, the wine? Is there anything else we find valuable in this room?
Give me an investigation check.
Can you use this for something?
I'll take a look as
No,
well.
that was wadded up in the couch.
Investigation.
It's
a 15.
I wasn't sure if Professor Jabbletros was asking to investigate what's wadded up in the couch, or
that's a 21.
On that investigation, storyteller.
What was that, Airtrail?
15 on my investigation check.
Ooh,
I
nice.
got a 21.
15 and a 21. There were some personal possessions left behind. In one of the rooms that you find yourself wandering through, Airtrail, you come across an amulet that is hanging on a peg over somebody's bed. It is the amulet itself has an image of what would be called a priest. Other than that, other than the fact that it just looks incredibly fancy, you're not really sure what else it does.
Can I do an Arcana check on it, see if there's any magic coming out of it?
Give me an Arcana check, see if there's any indication it might be magical.
11.
Maybe. Hard to know. Born.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. Foreign, in one of the other rooms, somebody had left a really nice cloak hanging on a peg. The stitching, the fabric, all of it indicates to you that it's probably magical.
I'll assuming we're rounding back into the main room real quick, I'll take a few minutes and ritual cast identify for the cloak and the amulet as well, just in case.
Okay. The cloak is a cloak of displacement. And
the water,
amulet...
right? I take it in the water's displaced, right?
Not quite. And the amulet is an amulet of the devout, +2. It grants a +2 bonus to spell attack rolls and saving throws.
Oh,
This is a very fine amulet.
Additionally, it allows the wearer to use their channel divinity feature 1 extra time per day. And both of those should be in D&D Beyond.
Mm-hmm. If y'all don't mind, I'll enjoy the cloak for myself here.
Cora puts out her big muscular arm on a table. I'll wrestle you for it there, chicken legs.
Wrestle.
Arm wrestle. Let's go.
We could shoot for it. How about we shoot for it? Look. See
I could just wait till you fall asleep.
Fair.
She grabs it from you and tucks it into her backpack.
Fine.
do clerics have a channel divinity feature? Or is that only a paladin feature?
I believe that's a paladin unless a cleric multi-classes.
I have channel divinity listed in my feature.
Oh yeah, clerics have channel divinity because that's how they turn undead.
Yeah, it's turn undead, and I think like Twilight Sanctuary, whatever, was channel divinity.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, suck it.
Excuse you.
Oh, true love.
Finders keepers, losers weepers. You could have looked too, but you didn't.
I feel like
I'm never gonna
Giancarlo's
find
just,
anything with my investigation. It's not fair.
That's why it's
I feel like
easier for you
Giancarlo's
just to
just
roll the
gonna-
bodies. That's what Cora always says. I'll just roll the body after I'm done with you.
What was Giancarlo doing, Eric? I know
just after you guys are fighting over this, just like, I have no use for this, but I will steal off one of their persons if you wish. Or scrolls. I don't know how much you like these people. Just laying it out there, my love.
Right. I think we got everything here. I'll top off the glass and chug one real quick, and then this is really good ale. I'm glad we got a barrel of that in the hole. Rolling up the portable hole, putting it back on the back again. This is fun. We don't get to do this very often. Scoping
how long is
around
it?
in the dark and collecting stuff. We never collect stuff unless it's dead. I guess I could say all the stuff here could be dead already, but so far no bodies. It's kind of pleasant, kind of nice.
Forn is so in his element in this like underwater chamber. No people around.
Look, it's dead stuff, and there's no dead stuff right now. This is kind of great,
That's true.
actually.
Honestly.
Usually we have to kill things first before we get anything off of it, but right now it's like going shopping, kid in a candy store.
All right, have we taken our water breathing potions?
I handed them off to everybody, so
right.
I didn't take it yet. I chugged my ale first.
Yeah, they are. So the water breathing potions are good for up to 8 hours.
Ooh,
Oh, these
awesome.
are really good ones.
Wow.
Bottoms up. Tastes like seaweed.
Does it give us gills, or you can just breathe underwater now?
You can decipher however it affects you. It can either give you gills, it can allow you to freely breathe.
It'd be a lot like Harry Potter, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering, is it gillyweed?
I feel like it's actually going to be like the scene from The Abyss, and we're going to just fill up the room with water, and everybody's going to struggle to breathe at first, and then be fine,
Oh,
No, you never seen The Abyss? Oh, it's such a great movie. Way ahead of its time, special effects wise too. That
Yeah,
technical
until
water.
that stupid spacecraft comes up above the waterline in the
yeah,
extended edition. That was pretty goofy.
yeah. But it's some really good like early Ed Harris stuff, and such a good movie. Anyway, I think they nearly drowned about 7 people in that movie. So
Yeah, it was during the time period where
filming, they
people,
drowned about 7 people.
people were lucky to survive
Right.
filming
Not
schedules.
dead drowned, but drowned, and then
all
So as you
right.
guys take your potions, prepare to move towards the next keystone. This keystone is completely flooded. And you notice that when you open up the keystone, the water stays put. It doesn't shift or move. It's literally a wall of water that you step into. As soon as everybody steps in and you're floating amongst the water, you realize there's no gap. There's no gap near the top. This is a completely flooded hallway. As all of you enter, you feel the water breathing take effect. You watch as the keystone reseals itself. And here you then watch as an illusionist apparition kind of appears and begins to speak to each of you telepathically. We'd like to welcome you to the excavation of the drowned city. This hallway is to determine the effectiveness and safety of the equipment, as well as to make sure that the water-breathing potions are working as expected. Down this main hall to the right, you will have access to the underwater tavern, or sometimes referred to as the Sunken Tavern. And then at the very end of the hallway, there is a room called the Hall of the Royal Library. All the collected works of the All Site are there for your approval to be reviewed and studied deeply before entering further into the many different sites of the drowned city. Be aware that once you are beyond the Royal Library, you will be in the wide open of the lake. Here we have very limited control over the creatures that come and go. Be advised that there are merfolk that exist in the lake as well, direct descendants of the ancient Sylvans that once populated the old sunken city before Calamity. If for any reason you find yourself in need of assistance, you can find other similar illusions like myself in the other corresponding chambers attached to the Royal Library. Be aware the following areas are to be strictly taken to heart. There's an old temple district indicated on your map as M9. There's another building, M10. We have not done much excavation there, be forewarned. We recommend that you stay out of the kelp forest without a direct escort or one of the assisted librarians. That is indicated by M11. You can also see 3 specific areas that we are currently excavating in great detail. There's M13, the villa, M14, the watchtower, and M15, the collapsed guard tower. Be aware, you are not to proceed anywhere near on the map located M17. That is a strictly off-limits area, only to be provided by escort of the highest of the wizards that aid in the All-Sight's abilities to excavate that region. That region has been indicated through markers and other information. If you do find yourself mistakenly wandering in that area, you will immediately be arrested and escorted out of the Sunken City and taken directly into custody. This illusion has been approved by Jamansa Ord. Good evening. And then the illusion collapses in on itself.
Well, you hear that door? Can y'all hear me right now? Is this working?
You watch as Dormir rolls his eyes and then he casts a quick spell. We can all talk to each other in our minds now for the next 6 hours. Sorry, I forgot to cast the spell before we came down here.
So, Dormir, he said only fancy mages take us to M17. So you're a fancy mage, right? We can get to M17, I think, right?
No, I do not know their protocols or their wards or whatever. Why do you keep assuming all wizards are the same, Fawn? I don't assume all elves are the same. Or rangers.
You're a fancy
Do you
mage.
all pick
You're
your
a very
nose and
fancy
cut your
mage.
toenails for purposes of communication?
Most of the rangers that I've met tend to not do pick a note. Come on now, be serious.
He just kind of rolls his eyes and swims away from you.
So we're in M5, the long hallway right now, right?
Correct.
I'm looking at, and when they reference the library, I don't think we named off. Is that M7? Is the library or?
M7's the initial entrance. M7A is the library itself, and M7B and C are attached rooms for purposes of research and study attached to the Royal Library.
Right.
Okay, I was making sure which rooms are which. Like y'all see this thing over here? It's like another room. I don't remember the illusion man speaking about it.
Is that the tavern?
One way to find out. I'm gonna go to the edge of like the keystone wall and like push, like see if my hand goes through it, kind of thing. Because we haven't established any of this yet.
Yeah, I mean the keystone's still activated, so I mean you can attempt to communicate with the keystone and deactivate it and see.
Oh no, I mean it's more like if I can reach through the sides of this thing or not. If it's like
it is the keystones maintain like you guys are all familiar with spells enough to realize that this keystone is creating what's called a force barrier or wall of force. It's a type of spell that some wizards would know how to create and construct. The keystones are bound to the spell effect and therefore create this barrier as a way to kind of control the environment.
If we kind of peer through the force wall, can we see the building that's labeled M6?
As you peer through that section of the force wall, you can see that the building labeled M6 is completely bone dry and functional. The keystone, you have to swim up. The reason why it's off to the side and elevated is that you actually swim up to an exposed landing that would then allow you to directly walk into the tavern.
Oh.
Once again, it would appear that the All-Sight, they specifically have designed this place to be entertaining and attract people to it as a way to enhance and gather more information for the library.
Look, if some old mage walks out here with a staff and a little bug on the end of it, we're getting out, all right?
A bug?
Yeah, it's like trapped in yellow like a rock, and it's got a bug inside of it. If some old man walks out with a staff like that, we're leaving.
Professor, can you put Thorn out of his misery, please? Can you just put Thorn out of his misery?
Well, I mean, most of the people I know that do that, they tend not to spare many expenses on their attractions. It must be sad.
Spare no expense.
I'll swim up and sort of poke my head up and take a look at the tavern.
Yeah, this is a particularly shallow area of it. So you guys swim up about 30, 40 feet. Your head's kind of pop out of the edge. You can see a little kind of like shoreline edge of the tavern that, you could easily just walk up to a path that surrounds it. And then, obviously it's solid lake all around it as well. And then there's 2 keystones on either side of it that allow you to enter, but you have to kind of like walk down the shore a bit and then come underwater to get in to the interior of the tavern. It would appear that these keystones manage how things maybe flood from time to time. So at some points you get the feeling that maybe during certain parts of the year, this area completely floods. But at this point, it's just low enough that you still have to use the keystones to get in, but not nearly as submerged.
Presumably,
But you can actually see through the keystone barriers at this point, and it's a fully functional tavern inside.
Oh, this is going to be sweet. Once we get back all the people.
What we need the people for? Look, the tap works, right? We'll find out when we get in there if the tap works. We don't need people to run the tap for us. They're just going to charge us.
Look, I love to party, but I don't know how drunk we want to be before we go into the open lake.
Yeah, Ford's just going to be blacked out before we get into the tavern.
Look, I kept the good stuff in the portable hole. If there's anything good in the
we
tavern,
don't-
it's going in the hole
Don't
too.
worry about getting anything at the tavern. We have plenty in our supplies, and I think we need to be a little level-headed here. And
I
we don't
am
know what
very
we're
level-headed
talking
right now. I
Well,
don't
now
know what.
Eritrea is talking me out of it. Now I feel like we should go to the tavern.
Oh my goodness!
Come on now. And like Ford's going to take off. Ford, I'm going to activate my ring of flying just because I don't just to fly through the water instead of like swimming through the water because Ford feels really awkward swimming with a long coat on.
And the cloak.
Yeah, well, the cloak is in Cora's bag, so.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah. So I'll fly up and I'll activate the next keystone.
And which keystone into the tavern or the one at the end of the hallway?
Into the tavern.
Okay. As all of you, currently Melody and Foreign are up above interacting with the tavern. What are Eritrea, Professor, and Giancarlo doing at this point? Cora and Dormir have gone further down the hallway to inspect the next keystone that takes everybody into the Royal Library.
Yeah, I'm going to follow Cora, and then I have no interest in going to the tavern.
Okay. Professor?
I think Giancarlo and the professor are going to follow Melody into the tavern.
No range on this telepathic connection, right?
No, there's no range as long as you're on the same plane of existence.
Okay. Well, reason being, I'm gonna taunt Eritrea as he's walking by. Like, look, ain't nobody here to throw me out when we get here. So I don't know what y'all worried about. Wandering off. Normally, you're a lot more fun than this.
Well, you guys really haven't had much downtime for a while, have you?
For a very long time. I can't remember the last time we had downtime that wasn't, a breather before something explodes. Although, this could be a breather and M17 could explode. So,
All right.
oh,
We grab a quick drink at the tavern, a shot for the road, and then we head on back down.
Yeah, like Professor,
I'm taking a look
Giancarlo,
around the
Thorn,
tavern.
and Melody. Yeah, you come up into, for all intents and purposes, a tavern that hasn't been used in what feels like at least a couple weeks. Everything's clean and prepared as if they intended to be open at some point. There's plenty of top shelf bottles everywhere. There appears to be a functioning kitchen attached to the back of the tavern. There's a small bardic stage, everything has just that comfy, homey feel of a tavern, but all of the decorations are like nautical and kind of like lakeshore driven or under lake driven, and like little artifacts that are lingering around that maybe have been collected and put on display here from below in the excavation site. The place feels surprisingly roomy and cozy. It's just, once again, no sign that anyone's ever been in here recently.
I would like to just take a look around the back, like the kitchen area, food, stuff like that, because if there's bacon back there, I might fire up a quick little meal and have some bacon to chew on while we're walking.
You don't need to make a search for that. I mean, you go back into the back of the kitchen and there's a large walk-in larder with like all of the dry goods and dry meats hanging everywhere. A lot of the fresh vegetables are now wilted and not in very good shape. There's a lot of like different kinds of cheeses and fruits that are on the edge of being wilted. This is a full kitchen that would be designed to prepare meals all day long.
So I'm going to use prestidigitate to snap on the burner there and grab some of the meat and start throwing it on the frying pan. Ho, we got some food here tonight. Y'all hungry?
Giancarlo is going to elbow his way through the crowd and just like come up behind Ford and struggle not to just like snap, like, get away, you buffoon! What are you doing? I trust you not with my victuals.
Look, you
first
go
you
grab what
start
you
with
want.
the clarified butter. Go get the brie. How dare you?
So,
Debris,
Trail,
debris everywhere.
Debris. Oh my God. You know what? I'm putting you down at the bottom. There you go. You do not deserve. There is debris everywhere. That is the worst dad joke ever.
Hey,
Ever.
rolled right off the tongue.
Yeah. So does the flu. Air Trail, you, Cora, and Dormir make your way down the long hallway to the next keystone. This keystone is doubled up. It's a rather large keystone. It's 20 feet wide, and it actually allows you guys to come out of the water first before, if you choose to deactivate the keystone, and then allowing you in what looks like a rather incredibly well kitted out library. And it looks like through the transparency of the keystone that it is kitted out with things that were maybe found and stored here from the excavation site. A feeling that this is the place that they've been gathering all the information and the idea of things that they found throughout this particular area of the Sunken City that they've been doing recovery work. While the map shows you about a quarter-mile area that they're excavating, the lake itself is many hundreds of square miles that this just goes on forever. For whatever reason, the All-Side Allegiance has decided that this was the most important area to do their excavation.
This is like M7 around where we're doing this.
Correct.
And in M7A seems like that excavation area.
N7A and B probably would look or appear through the barrier like places that people would do work or study, maybe copy documents or do cartography work. One of the rooms looks like some kind of reading room, perhaps, where people would take stuff out of the main library and then go to those rooms to do reading. They're all part and parcel, part of the same recovered structure.
I want to try to see if, I kind of asked Cora and Dormir, what, I know we were told to come down and look in the library. Were we told what, though, to be looking for?
I don't believe anything specifically was stated. I think we agreed the other two libraries up in the city itself, above or in the city proper. So it wouldn't make sense to look at those libraries. I believe that warning specifically speaks to this library for whatever reason.
I wonder why. And this is all kind of in the process of being excavated, correct?
My understanding is this particular area of the city is. Whether or not they ever plan to expand any further, I'm not entirely sure. It requires a great deal of wealth, magical resources to even do what they've done here. And I would imagine the deeper you go into the lake, unknown threats are going to make it a lot harder to be more constructive. Based on the map and what have always been led to believe or understand what they were doing down here, is that they truly believed that they could find more of the old city and perhaps more magic relics that were linked to the old elves and orcs that used to... Are you aware that orcs and elves used to live side by side down here in Kyle Moreau? They coexisted and lived as their own population of people throughout this area of Marquet before Calamity. And it is said that during Calamity, that Grumash was offended by the coexistence of the orc and the elf, and he used his spear to rip apart this area of Marquet, therefore flooding the old city and allowing the place to become barren desert, and eventually the new city of Ankarel built on top of the old elven city. So I suspect that the All-Sight Allegiancy has been trying to either recover artifacts related to that time period or lore related to that time period as well. I suspect anything we need to know sits behind this keystone in that library.
I think we need to go in.
He activates the keystone. You, Cora, and Dormir all enter in to the library. Back at the tavern, anything else you guys want to do before continuing on?
Not for me.
Okay. Professor or Giancarlo?
No, just need to harass for him.
Look, I am not a picky eater. A little charred bacon.
Oh, I can tell. This has been established. You do not care what you put in your body. I have class and taste. What else is new?
Look, I'm just telling you, bacon is good no matter how you cook it, right? As long as you cook it.
I do not trust you to prepare say bacon or anything else.
Do y'all ever eat omelets?
Ryan's got that look like, oh, great, now I want bacon.
When is the last time you washed your hands, you disgusting, filthy creature?
Look, I've got a pretty good constitution.
Just swam through lake water.
Right. That's clean, right?
I'm stealing bacon off the griddle while they're arguing.
Yeah.
The
Pop it in
professor's
your
just
mouth.
they're like, honestly, that's probably for the best. Like, just let them fight it out.
Right. Look, if there's nothing else in here, I'll take a quick glance around the main room, see if there's anything left. If there wasn't anything left from previous travelers, then
because this
we'll
isn't
head on
a
out.
place for them to stay. This is a place for them to gather. You get the feeling that you would stay at the royal rooms, and then you come and gather here for social occasions. You go back to the preparation room to gather up your equipment and your stuff, and then you'd head down towards the royal library.
Yeah, is there like a cash register, a till, or like a lockbox or something?
Not that you could see, no.
Well, I'll be damned. How are you going to have all this stuff and not have?
Give me an insight check on that one.
Okay. Insight. That's a 13.
I mean, you get the feeling that people paid ahead of time for access to this place, and it would be considered all-inclusive. So that you'd have a place to stay, you'd have a place to do your research, you'd have a place to drink and relax. The All-Sight Allegiancy, they want to attract the best scholars that they could bring in to study this place. And you get the feeling that this was all performative. This was a place that, they attract people here, give them comfort, give them food and drink, keep them here as long as they can, and get them out into the library studying, and then eventually out onto the excavation sites, excavating things that would gain more power and more knowledge to the All-Sight.
Can the professor roll a history check? Because, like, he's an active historian. He was working on a different archaeological thing on.
You can absolutely give me a history check, as you've kind of been exposed to a lot of this place. You've already heard Dormir talk about it.
He opens his wallet and finds a really old, rotten ticket.
Yeah.
Admit one.
That was an 18.
An 18, that's actually pretty good. You begin to refer to your book that you have. You kind of skim through to a page. So while Forn, Giancarlo, and Melody are finishing up the food that was prepared, you find an entry into your book that talks about a place called the Netherdeep. And that this Netherdeep is located in the All-Site Allegiance's excavation grounds. And this was always something that you bookmarked for yourself, because the Netherdeep is said to be a gateway to some other realm or plane of existence. And you've always intended to come here at some point to do more study. You never had time. You wanted to resolve your own ability to get back to your home, back to where you live. And now that you've solved that, this could be another clue into understanding another possible plane of existence.
Look, I know you birds don't chew, but you look like you're chewing on something right now, Professor.
I want to be angry, but I mean, that's a fair point. All right. I would like to use my Feather of Commune and just ask Rimnus if he senses the last part of his soul in this area.
Say that again. Something about your soul and bacon and debris.
There you go. Exactly. Now, because Rimnus, told me that he's tasked me with finding the lost part of his soul, which
it's interesting.
Discussion.
Yeah,
and I'm curious if he might feel that that is in the vicinity, or if
based on your knowledge and based on your understanding, this could be a location that may give you some insight into that. It's quite possible.
Okay. Can I do an Arcana check just to see if there's anything that stands out to me? Just anything that kind of has a vibe of trapping a god, something to do with trapping a god's power.
I can help you with that. I can detect magic if that would help.
Uh-oh, he's plotting something. I see him thinking over
there. Sorry, I just wanted to put something in notes really quick. This isn't the right place.
All right.
You feel like the library is the right place to get to.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to clean up my desk a little bit. So
I'm grabbing the rest of the bacon off the griddle and sticking it in my pockets. You never know when you might need pocket bacon.
You're smelling bacon all day.
Hey,
we're also
greasy pants.
Compared to how I normally smell, bacon must be delightful, right?
Also, we're about to go back into the dirty water.
Who cares? It's water.
All right.
Bacon.
He's just shoving bacon in his mouth while he's underwater.
I don't have to worry about holding my breath.
You watch his little globules of grease go cold and towards the surface. Yeah. Eritrea, the others haven't quite joined you yet, but you, Cora, and Dormir enter into the Royal Library. It is clearly an old, ruined building that was part of the old Elven and Orcish city. There is a feeling that this is the most recent restoration that they've done. You can even see the keystone. There's in the main hallway of M7, that's an entry of a series of keystones that then leads you into the heart of the Royal Library. The keystone directly to your right, before you go into the other part of the library, is the remains of the library that they have yet to excavate. It's still submerged in water. They're using the keystones to kind of keep it kind of isolated from flooding back into the main hallway. But this other area of the Royal Library that you guys have come into is beyond fascinating. There are maybe anywhere from 1,000 books that you can immediately see kind of spread on different shelves. You can see at least 3, 4, 5 dozen artifacts that have been recovered. With your natural religion background, there's a 6-foot tall recovered statue of Grommash. There's another statue of a recovered elven deity. What's the name of the deity who worships the moon?
Saloon.
An elven statue of Saloon as well. Other things like ceramics or pottery, old rusted pieces of metal that have been recovered that might just indicate day-to-day activity. Armor and weapons on display that were recovered. Fabrics. And this feels like a place that if you wanted to study everything there was to know about the Sunken City, this would be the place to come, including volumes of recovered books. The 2 little side rooms are merely chambers that you would use to read and copy and do detailed works. Eritrea, now that you're inside this area looking around, give me a religion check, if you would, please.
All right, I think that's pretty good. 21.
21.
Nice.
Everything that's been recovered into this chamber feels like it's come from a temple. All of the books and documents and things that have been recovered, the artifacts, it's probably been recovered from the area on your map, the M9 area, which is referred to as the Temple of the Archheart. There are a couple of volumes that you see on the shelves that strike you with a bit of interest as well. No, I can't. No, that wouldn't be that. There are volumes that talk about how they've been doing their restored works. There's a volume on the challenges of creating the keystones. There's a lot of documentation about a substance called rudium. This appears to be a corrupted necrotic substance that they describe as currently expanding from a place that they call the Netherdeep entrance chamber. You get the feeling that might be M17 on the map. Begins to make sense. It would appear that the rudium is slowly spreading and it grows into things that touch it. It's described as being very hazardous to one's health, can physically alter your form, and cause great physical harm and damage to both your physicality and your psyche as well. There's a series of volumes of historical works that talk about the betrayer god, Grommash, and the importance of the belief that the orcs and elves that lived here felt that it was Grommash's anger that destroyed their city. And there's lots of volumes about the kind of interpretation of that culture and that lore. There are volumes of book that talk about the vents of fury. These seem to be the lowest chambers within the current area of M17. Something about them kind of like exuding oxygen and organic matter. You also find a book on the fauna of the region that you're currently in. And while it shows and talks about the merfolk that live in the kelp forest and their kind of isolation and introverted nature, they purposely avoid interaction with anyone. There is an extensive entry on a creature called an obelith. And this obelith is a creature that is from another plane of existence. They believe it came from the elemental plane of water and harbors a connection with the Netherdeep, but they're not entirely sure what that connection is. There are many historical volumes about how to open the Netherdeep, how to gain access to the rift, but they all end in the same kind of questions and understanding of its mystery. No one seems to have been able to figure out how to enter into this rift. The allegiance of Allsight seems to be the main caretaker of this entire excavation site. They do bring up two other groups, the Consortium of the Vermilion Dream. They seem to be obsessed with recovering relics from down here, and they want to use the power of these relics to further their own influence and power. And then, of course, there's the Library of the Cobalt Soul. They want to take control over the rudium that's being generated down here. They feel it is a direct threat to the physical existence of Exandria, and they consider the Consortium of Vermilion and the Allegiance of Allsight to not be properly capable of containing this rudium. And it would appear that the Cobalt Soul has its own structure down here, and that is labeled M7C. So the M7A seems to be a chamber that you copy and do all the written works. The M7C chamber appears to be specifically isolated for the Cobalt Soul. At this point, the others can't return from the tavern. All of you are now gathered in the Royal Library, and you're watching as Eritrea is kind of going through all the volumes of books. Dormir is doing the same thing. And you kind of arrive to this discussion about all the findings that Eritrea has kind of discovered.
I'll pull out
I gotta catch them up on everything. I gotta feed my dog though. He's groaning at me. It's 20 minutes past his dinner time. He's sitting here groaning.
I pull out
that
and hand it to Eritrea.
His dog when it's hungry, but when it's happy and wants to hang out, it's your dog, right?
I feel like the cat's more Alexa anyway. You know.
Yeah, I think the cat does like Alexa more. Yeah.
Well, I did. I brought Bigby into the relationship, and Ryan brought Doc, so we have some pre-existing connections.
Professor, what is your passive insight? You're on mute.
All it says, let me look. It's not great. 9.
What's your passive investigation?
Passive investigation, 12.
12. For a professor, you're not very passively smart. I would say the one thing you pick up on is that this is a gold mine of information around you, and you generally recognize a lot of these tomes and books are historical information about the Netherdeep.
So do we think the secret that the message is talking about is Netherdeep?
Well, that ruidium stuff, that don't sound very nice, honestly.
That sounds bad as well.
What was in that other room back there that we walked by? You know, we walked past the one.
M7C? Or M8?
8.
That is the submerged remnants of the library. Part of the library they have yet to excavate.
Can I? I was gonna say, can I walk into M7C and see if the Cobalt Soul has anything helpful about this ruidium?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take a few minutes and prepare detect magic.
Okay.
'Cause
Keep in mind, all the keystones are magical, so you're going to get a lot of false positives in the sense that there's this like pervasive magic like all around you.
Yeah.
And it could kind of be so loud that it drowns out other magic because of the force of the magical power that's keeping this place kind of like secure from the pressure of the water and the lake, trying to crash into it. Melody, you activate the connected keystone, and this particular chamber is slightly flooded with ankle-deep water.
Mhm.
You also notice that there are magical devices nearby that seem to all be related to...
That's not funny. That genuinely fucking hurt.
I bet that did hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, did he like go for your throat?
No, he was trying to kick out, and he kind of caught my throat with his back paw.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ass weight on cats for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But my Rick cat, you'd swear he weighs 2 pounds until he jumps off your shoulder. Then you swear he weighs 100 pounds. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, right now I think they've been getting fed a little early, so they're kind of antsy and yelling at me because I haven't fed them. But Houdini's just been more of a little bastard than normal.
Melody, as you look
Yes,
around
sir.
this place, there are devices specifically here for the purposes of controlling water. You get the feeling that the Cobalt Soul Vault they retrieve items or things from the lake, bring them here to study them in a controlled environment to prevent them from decaying or falling apart due to exposure of oxygen. There's even like ceramic containers with items inside them that are still in water. You get the feeling that the ankle deep water is to create pervasive humidity to keep everything kind of protected in here as well. There's 2 or 3 different workbenches. There's an arcanist table for the study and kind of disassembly of magic items. This feels like the Cobalt Soul is using this place to study very specific things. Give me... I know you're not very investigative, but you are pretty perceptive, right?
I'm okay perceptive, yeah.
Yeah, give me a perception check as you glance
All right.
around. I feel like that would cater to your strength.
All right, let's see. Well, it's an 11. Pretty good. Better than average.
You really, really are a party girl. I'll say the one thing that you see that garners your attention is that there is a journal, a book that sticks out to you. It appears to be written by a professor that goes by the name of Akier. And it would appear that this professor was doing research for the Cobalt Soul into how rudium works and its toxicity and its nature. It would also appear that there's an entry into this journal that this Insight Akir is her name. You get the feeling that she was working on a possible solution on how to safely enter into the Netherdeep.
Ooh. Does it look like she had gotten anywhere close to a solution? Did she have a theory on the solution?
Give me another perception check as you peruse through the journal.
Okay. All right, that's a nat 20 for a 24.
Nice. Long overdue. Long
A flash
overdue.
of brilliance from Melody.
There's one particular section of the journal that she experimented with consuming a rudium potion that was distilled and combined with a draught of a healing potion. The combination of the two was distilled into what she called a protective potion of rudium. And when she drank it, she seemed to be able to safely excavate almost to the very edge of the interior rift without suffering any harm or damage from the raw iridium that kind of surrounds the rift. It would appear that maybe iridium itself is the solution to being able to cross the threshold into the Netherdeep.
I'll bring that back to the group.
Okay.
Did it show the ingredients to that potion?
So
yeah, it would have the ingredients and everything written in the journal. Go ahead, Melody.
So I was just gonna say, I think it's like you put some iridium in there, and then a healing potion,
and then you would use the Arcanist table to combine and distill the two. From the recipe, it looks like it requires a small dose of iridium and 3 regular healing potions. The combination of those 4 things, distilled for an hour on the Arcanist table, creates 1 use of a iridium protection potion. But so far, you guys haven't stumbled across any raw iridium yet.
I think I know where we could find it. Can we see out the windows to M9?
You mean the force walls?
Yes, the force walls.
Yeah. Give me a perception check, if you would, please.
Ooh, I should use I have some underwater dice now.
Hopefully those are Xanth dice too, right?
That's a 12.
12? It looks like maybe that is the ruins of the temple district on the map.
Mm-hmm.
You can also see that the kelp forest is kind of possibly overgrown into that area, although it's strange. There's something out there that because of the way the water is, you're not really sure what it is, but there's a lot of something out there. But it's too blurry, too obscure to really understand what it is.
Can anyone tell better than me? Like, is there something in the kelp forest?
I'll like
Because
add
everything's just
the
kinda
request.
muddy.
I'll go over and take a look. Yeah.
Give me
After I fire off that
detect magic.
tech magic, yeah.
Okay.
But for perception, that's really good. That's 17 plus 12, I think, or 10 plus 10, 27.
Yeah, with Melody calling it to your attention, you can now see thousands of people on the edge of the shadowy nature of the water, and they are all attached to tentacles. And something in the kelp forest is radiating a dim kind of yellowish light off in the distance.
Can I take my rifle? Like at seeing the tentacles and the yellow light, I'm gonna take my rifle out and through the scope try and get a clearer picture or a closer picture of what might be where that light's coming from.
With that same roll, as you pull out your rifle to look through the scope and deeper into the kelp forest, you could see a purple reddish mass that's deep in the kelp forest. You then begin to see these eyes on it as well. You recognize it from the description that Eritreo found. It's a massive obelisk that's in amongst the kelp, and would appear it has somehow distended tens of thousands of tentacles, and the entire population of Ankarel is attached to this creature.
Oh my god. Do they look? Can
found
you
all
tell
the people.
they're alive?
Found all the people, and going to tell you that thing you were talking about, Treo, that Abo, whatever. I think we found it. And it's fucking huge. I'm look.
Let me take a look.
I'm gonna shoot it. Okay.
No.
Whoa. Let's hold on. Hold your horses.
The
What
entire
is-
population of Jrusar of not Jrusar.
What
of,
is one shot
Ankh-Morpork
you can do against something that has thousands of people captured? What do you think one shot will do?
It can't keep distraction. It can't keep track of all tens of thousands of people and people fighting it at the same time. It's got to
What?
give up one or the other.
Can you tell, like, what's the state of the people? Are they alive? Are they fighting? Are they dead?
They're
Are they
just
sleeping?
there.
They're just there.
Do you tell them that they're attached to the tentacles?
Yeah, they're attached to the tentacles.
Are they? But are they like thrashing, or are they just like totally still?
I mean, as you peer through your scope and look at the details of one of the individuals connected to the tentacle, you can see that the tentacle is in the mouth. You can see that the throat is kind of pulsing. You could also see that there's strange little kind of like lesions, these tiny coin-sized lesions that are appearing on surface areas of the skin of the people that are being held and connected. But they appear to be alive, just not conscious.
Maybe it's helping them breathe.
Hey, Dormia, you got any way to talk to big, crazy, magical monster things?
He comes over to stand alongside you. He peers throughout the barrier in the same direction that all of you are now peering through the keystone. Well, see, the thing is about an aboleth is that they're immune to psychic damage, and if you attempt to talk to them, they could potentially scramble your brain, I think is the best way to describe that. He's I've never seen one. My gods, that thing's as big as the entire area out. Please don't shoot it, Fawn. We need to figure out what all of this is. If you do it harm, it could project its psychic energy out towards the people that is in control of or using for whatever purpose. This is fascinating. Don't understand this.
You said ruidium kills basically anything, corrupts anything.
Well, ruidium is necrotic in nature, toxic, can cause harm physically and psychically if too much of it is exposed to you.
So what say we drop some ruidium on that thing?
I don't know if that's going to harm it, actually. If it's already living out there in the kelp forest near the gated entrance or near the ruidium entrance of the Netherdeep, I would imagine it's already found some way of not being directly affected by it. I would imagine the closer you get to the growth, the more potential harm one is put at.
Look, we gotta do something for the people of Ankh-Morpork, right? I'm not just going to sit here and let nothing happen.
Well, I understand that, but we still have yet to find this so-called prison that we thought contained the Jrusar Ord and the Bright Queen, correct? That should be around here somewhere as well. I do not believe that they've marked it on this map, so we should probably try to find that.
I'll take out the piece of Jrusar Ord's like a what was it, a bracer or something? Like a piece.
Yeah.
I'll take that out and I'm gonna try and cast locate object.
Oh yeah,
it's the piece, and I'm trying to find the rest of it. So
right.
Wearing it still. It might thought being if she's still wearing it, or if they're still wearing it. That
right, and that's within 1,000 feet.
I'm pulling the spell up real quick.
I think it's within 1,000 feet.
I think it's 1,000 feet. Yeah.
So, can I pull out the feather and just kind of see if I notice any kind of reaction from what's going on around us? Like,
the feather glows brightly. The makeup of the feather itself has a swirl of energy kind of activating throughout the feather, almost like a beacon, almost like it detects something.
It is 1,000 feet, but it's 10-minute concentration as well, though.
Okay.
So, assuming we're farther than 1,000 feet away from the aboleth, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a good. The edge of the kelp forest from where you are is maybe 100 feet. You get the feeling that through your scope and looking deep into the kelp forest, that the aboleth itself is probably close to half a mile to a mile away.
Okay. I'll wait then to cast that until we're closer. But
Okay.
I do bring up to Eritrea, though, perhaps we could try sending a message to Jaman Saord since we're here. Because the last time we were away from Jrusar, on our way away from Jrusar, when you messaged Jaman Saord before, and we got perhaps the real Jaman Saord and not whoever was filling in for. Perhaps at this range, if we happen to be closer, we might actually once again make contact with the proper Jaman Saord.
What should we say to him? He doesn't know who I am, this real one, remember?
Right, but they know you've contacted them before, and they told you they were in a prison under the city of Ankh-Morel.
Say we're closer and we're trying to get him out.
How can maybe just tell them about the creature and how we get them out of here?
Well, then I'm just figuring out how to say it in 25 words.
I definitely like the country instead of him, her, or them. It's just get them out of here. It makes naming Jaman Saord the them a lot easier. Just get them out of here.
Professor, as you stand near one of the keystones that faces the direction of an area on the map called the Temple of the Archheart, the feather begins to vibrate in your hand, and you watch as a thin, like silver thread of magic erupts from the feather and begins to lay on the ground in the direction of the Archheart, almost like giving you a trail. Foreign, with your detect magic up, you realize that there's a strong source of divination coming from Professor's feather, that while it always had a sense of enchantment magic on it, the magic has shifted, and the magic is now divination magic.
Hey, Professor?
Mm-hmm. Yes?
Something different about your feather.
I kind of got that. I think it's trying to lead me to the shorn portion of Rendis' soul, that little thing that he neglected to mention at the Hi Houdini. But yeah, I was planning on investigating that. Sorry, my cat is my idiot bastard cat is kind of placed on top of my PC. I'm waiting for him to do something stupid to kiss me off the internet.
He's stalking you. That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's gonna wait until you're like full on into role playing, and he's just gonna leap right on top of you.
He's gonna bite you with his mouth full of gum. Because Houdini's the toothless one, right?
No, that's Charlie.
Oh,
Houdini is our impressively stupid little voidling. Yeah, Charlie's the one that only has his 2 orc teeth.
Eritrea, are you going to send the message to Jaman Saord or the Bright Queen? Jaman Saord?
Jaman.
Okay. What do you say?
Jaman, we are below Ankh-Morel. We see the obelisk. Are you here? Can we get you out? Sincerely, the PCs.
Oh my god, I love it. By the gods, I and the Bright Queen are being held in the watchtower. This creature blocks my mind, blocks my thought, and then it cuts off.
Well, they're in the watchtower.
On the
do you
map,
mean?
that would be the
They and the Bright
14.
Queen are in the
that'd be
watchtower.
that would be M14 is where
Now-
they're being held.
There's
Wait,
notice.
you said the Bright Queen is here?
Yes. But
You know what I've got
Jamon's creature is blocking their mind somehow and their thoughts. So we may have to be a little careful of how we approach this. And if there's some sort of spell surrounding the area, maybe I can do something about that as we try to enter there.
Look, you know what I have to do, right?
I
Contact
feel as though we're
you.
all being brought to this.
The Bright Queen is there.
I think we have to go try to rescue them. I'm just trying to figure out a way of. I think we need to try to make our way there. I can protect us with an aura of life that could
So-
potentially.
We're saying the Aboleth is M17 area or M15 area? Or
M11.
The Aboleth is in the
M11
M11 area,
M11,
which
okay,
is the
M11,
beginning
yeah.
of the kelp forest.
Yep.
The kelp forest goes on for hundreds of miles. That's just the beginning edge of it.
Yeah.
Elevated slightly above the kelp forest is the remains of the guard tower.
so
We could skirt the edges, go down through M8, 9, 10,
Prof-
13.
Professor, your silver thread is moving towards that glowish spot out there around M9, right?
Is that correct? I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's the art. Yeah, it's going towards the temple of the Archart.
Okay.
So again, mine appears to be going towards the building that. Sorry. So if
So-
nothing else is on the way.
Perhaps we skirt around that outside, maybe stop at the temple on the way around. But judging from the map, if Big Ugly's out there glowing yellow in the middle of the kelp forest, if we skirt around the outside, we can maybe hit up the temple, the other building they hadn't done anything about, up to the collapsed watchtower, and then cut across over to the proper watchtower.
Can hear that cat purring.
Oh, yeah, he's got, like, the second best purr I've ever had. Oh yeah, did I show you guys my my new helper dragon tattoo that helps me roll good?
No, I want to see. I want to see. I want to see.
So sorry, it's hard to focus on my camera, but yeah, right on my
Did
forearm.
you send
there.
it in the chat?
Yeah,
I
take
showed
a
a
picture of
picture.
it and put in chat.
I sent a picture of it when it was fresh in the chat, but yeah, now that it's
Yeah.
actually-
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, cool! He scratched at my arm. Thanks, bud. You guys are pet owners.
You
You
guys
are the
do it.
ones with.
What's the plan? What are you guys doing?
So are we going the bottom way around?
Yes.
All right, let's do
Towards
it.
the temple.
Yeah.
But I have specifically activated my ring, so I'm holding my gun ready, so that I'm like flying through the water instead of like having to swim proper.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Oh.
At this point, you guys are all operating at swim speed. If you have a swim speed, that's actually identifiable to your character, that's the speed that you move. Otherwise, everyone moves at half the normal distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I meant as far as how I move, not the rate at which I move.
Well, no,
but-
fly doesn't work underwater.
Boo.
So, Giancarlo,
Hank Green and Brendan Lee Mulligan went over this about flying in the air and if a human could do it. And he said essentially the way to do it is to make the air super dense because swimming is just flying in really dense air.
But that's how to fly in the air as opposed to
Yeah.
fly underwater.
It's
So, Ford,
fish
can I
swimming
make a
in thin
suggestion?
air. Yeah.
Let me make a suggestion. Just you have this. I know she's not here, but do you have the ability to polymorph? I can't remember. I don't think you do. But
Nope.
Because just be a penguin, Erico, because then you can fly underwater.
Cora wants to know if you open the portable hole underwater, does it flood?
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
It does.
All right.
She's like, oh my god, we always find treasure when I'm not there.
A couple things.
So the other thing I get is Giancarlo's armor. He has the armor of the mariner or something like that. And all it is that his swimming speed is equivalent to his walk speed. So he's not.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's
Encumbered.
that would make sense. So if you have a magic ability or a designation that equates to a swimming speed, that becomes your movement underwater.
Yeah.
If you don't have
So
any of
he-
that, then your movement is automatically half speed.
All right. Out of curiosity, is that rounded up or down? Because mine's 25.
Round up, it's easier. Round numbers are always
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, I kind of figured 2.5 step is not going to. It's going to be ridiculous. But yeah, Giancarlo can move normally.
Okay.
Is Pass Without Trace still up, or should we put it back up?
I'd say it's been an hour at this point since you
Yeah, I'll have to
kind of
recast it.
descended down in here. Plus, Pass Without a Trace, I believe, is concentration.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
it
muted,
would have gone
Ryan.
down.
So we have about 7 hours left on the water.
And
Potion.
currently, Forn, you have locate object up.
I didn't cast Locate Out.
Oh, that's right, you haven't
It was Detect Magic.
Is Detect Magic concentration?
Thought it was. Yes, it's concentration up to 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I'm happy to drop. It's only 10 minutes, so I'm happy to drop it before I do Pass Without a Trace again.
Okay.
So that's there it is. Okay. First cast. But wait, I have this one scheduled prepared, so I get a better number to try for. Hey, 14. That's a dirty 20
Yep, you're
Nice.
good.
for Pass Without a Trace. So
Okay. Everybody
compared to
has
last
plus
session,
10.
I'm doing great.
Everybody has plus 10 to their stealth rolls now.
Ugh.
You guys gather in the main hallway, and you gather near the southern end of the keystone. You activate the keystone and step out into the area that is the unexcavated portion of the old library. You can see lots of debris, clay pots, ceramic jugs, all of which could easily contain and hold things and prevent them from being ruined by the water. They're all kind of haphazardly stacked deep in the rocks and mud and silty bottom of the particular area that they're all kind of cloistered in. You can see swinging off to your left, you can see that there is a lakeshore cliffside underneath the water, almost kind of like how a coral reef would be without necessarily coral, but layered with different plant life. There are fish and other things swimming around out here, and it seems like if you skirt the edge of that, it'll take you towards the behind portion of the Temple of the Archheart, where Professor's Feather is currently giving him a clear trail towards.
Professor,
This is also the first time that you guys are seeing and feeling the vibrant energy that is emanating off of the Netherdeep.
is this energy something we could capture? Because I notice it's noted. Like, how could we just put this energy in a bottle of sorts?
Give me an Arcana check if you'd like.
Do you need assistance with that? Because Giancarlo
Yes.
has advantage on that.
Yeah.
Giancarlo has advantage on that. So
Oh, thank you.
So Giancarlo can make a roll as well then.
all right. Sorry, I'm trying to clean up.
You said Arcana.
Yep.
My original roll
The
was
first is a 21. Magic bonus.
So what'd you get, Arturo?
13.
13. Okay.
Giancarlo got a 16.
Between the two of you, you get the feeling that the magic or the energy that you're experiencing is a byproduct of the residuum, or not residuum, the rudium that is emanating around the edge of the Netherdeep. You get the feeling that the only thing harvestable would be the raw rudium itself, but you also notice that wherever the rudium is over by the Netherdeep entrance, most of the plant life nearest the rudium has either been mutated or necrotically kind of like turned into sludge. The physical rocks that are in kind of like in conjunction of the rudium is showing signs of decay and turning to like sludge. There's a feeling that what you're experiencing is the byproduct of rudium being pervasive in the area.
Rudium is necrotic magic.
As it was described to you in your in the readings and writings, yeah, they describe it as a necrotic form of a byproduct of something that is leaking out of the rift itself.
I'm going to cast Aura of Life.
Okay.
Let me see. Rolls. Yes. That's a 12 plus 8, 20. It's a level 4 spell, I believe.
Yep, you're good.
So that essentially, while in this aura, you and your allies, it's 30-foot sphere. Allies have resistance to necrotic damage, and your hit point maximums cannot be reduced. If any ally hits 0 hit points, that ally gains 1 hit point. So
Nice.
Awesome.
we can risk it.
That would have been really cool. That would be really cool before I lost HP last time.
The aura of life, as it comes up, it actually causes the kind of the background effect of the rudium to kind of diminish a bit. Like you get the feeling that the offshoot of magic coming from the rudium is now lessened because the aura of life is now up.
Cool.
Well, that was pretty fancy.
I think we could maybe more safely traverse into this temple. I assume, Professor, that you have this feather guiding you there. That I want to get more answers as we get in there.
Right. That's my thought is what that I have no idea what we're going to find in there, but I'm being literally drawn to it by the god I'm in service to, so I kind of have to go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everyone give me stealth checks as you start slowly swimming towards the entry point of the temple.
Is
I guess it's plus 10. We automatically have 10.
Yeah, everyone gets a plus 10.
Well, I'm plus 1, so I got 27.
Nice.
I got a 22.
3. This is gonna sound so fucking terrible. The professor at disadvantage got a 33. Giancarlo, who has a plus 9 already, got a 21. I rolled an 18 and a 17 because he has
I'm
disadvantage.
dying to hear what Foreign got.
41.
41.
19 plus 22.
Jeez.
Yeah.
God, you are stealthy.
Make sure that's not supposed to be a higher number even. No, plus 12. Okay, never mind. Yeah, 20.
With Cora
yeah.
taking the rear, Dormir smack in the middle with Giancarlo, you guys begin to kind of like swim in a single file line along the edge of the of like the cliffside shore of the lake. You use it as a way to keep yourselves tucked away and hidden until you come amongst the pillars that are partially exposed through the muddy embankment of the lakeshore floor. Here you can see a 10-foot rubble pile that is spilled outward and has been neatly excavated away, and there is a broken section of the temple wall that's exposed. And through the dim light, there is a deep kind of like radiant energy coming from like the interior of the temple.
I assume I'm in the front of this.
I would think.
Yeah, you're kind of you're kind of leading
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll again prop up the rifle to take a look to try and see further in. Get a better look at where that radiant light's coming from, if it's an object or something in there.
Yeah, give me perception with advantage as you peer into the interior of the temple to see what's inside.
Good grief. It's a 1 and a 3. So that's, I think, a 13. Yeah, perception.
You can't really see the source of the light, but panning the interior of the temple, there are a lot of statues that seem to be organized in the interior of the temple.
Do they look anything like the statues we saw at the Divini temple kind of thing? Are we looking at...
No, not like the temple at Divini. No, these are very different, and they all appear to be elven.
Okay. I'll relay what I'm seeing to the rest of the group. There's a whole lot of statues inside of there. But I'm sure they're statues and not possibly someone or something turned to stone.
Yeah, they definitely look like statues that have been fabricated.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of it's weird. There's a lot of statues inside of here. They all look like elves or some kind of elven lineage in there. None like our little asshole back at the sands that abandoned us after we disappeared for a few hours. But
foreign deep cuts.
lot of statues out here. Look, I didn't get along with that guy very much. But I think we're headed in the right direction. I can't get a real lock on it, but there's light deep inside of this place. I try to get a better look at it, but all I can really see is the statues. It's casting really funny shadows on everything.
Well, Professor, do you want to move further into the temple, or should we just keep moving towards where we think Jamansa Ord is?
I would very much like to go more towards, was it M9, the one where the Silver Thread's leading me?
And I'll follow so he stays in this aura.
So you guys watch as Eritrea and Professor Jabotras kind of like leave the main group near the pillars of the entrance. Eritrea, give me a religion check as you approach the entrance of the temple with the professor alongside you. Is Giancarlo with you as well, Professor, or does he stay behind with the others?
No, I feel like he's probably going to tag along, just for his husband being there.
Okay.
Dirty 20 on that religion check.
As you get closer to the temple entrance, it feels like it used to be a doorway chamber that had collapsed over time and then was cleared out by the excavation people in charge of the excavation. Peering inside, all the statues that you could see are neatly organized and put in a kind of alignment towards the very back end of the temple. They are all statues of an elvish god known as Corleone. This is a god of art, war, and music that the elves once worshipped. Corleone is believed to be the main deity that the people of Kalmoro worshipped, alongside their orcish population who worshipped Gramash. Pre-Calamity, this was a city that elves and orcs lived together within. This feels like a dedicated temple to Corleone and her works. All of the statues appeared to be in various fabrications of armor, warfare, artistry, music. They all seem to be connected to little miniature altars. Maybe people would come here and worship to maybe one of the altars that was dedicated to music, or one of the altars dedicated to art or war, depending on whatever it is they felt connected to. Oddly enough, there's one particular altar that kind of catches you a little off guard. It is a statue of an Aarakocran kneeling towards one of the elvish statues of Corlan. And as you get a little closer, Trail, you feel yourself bounce off an invisible barrier. You literally just kind of find it impossible to swim into the interior of the temple.
Like, that's pretty much like right at the entrance.
Yeah, literally right at the threshold to enter into the building. You feel yourself kind of like bounce off of it. There is a sign in Elvish and Common, kind of like painted into the wall of the temple. No one shall enter without a specific guide and priest of the god Corlan.
So, I feel like the professor just sees that and just kind of like side eyes it a little bit. Like, did I see what happened to Eritrea when he tried to walk in?
Yeah, you watch as he physically bounced off of an invisible barrier. Yeah.
I'll relay that to everybody. The sign I just read.
Yeah, keep in mind you guys all have a telepathic link for up to 6
Right.
hours, so you're able to telepathically communicate with each other.
So I think it's 5 more hours at this point. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
That's been okay. So I'm just going to all right, just kind of pull the feather out of my vest or whatever, and just try to walk up to the barrier with it in my palm to see if it recognizes that.
You pass through the barrier and into the temple with no problem. Giancarlo wasn't really paying attention, and he tried to follow you in. He bounced off the barrier after you passed through it. You're in the temple entrance on your own at this point, Professor.
Professor, if you reach your arm out and try to pull one of us in, can you get us in?
I'll give it a try. Just try to stick my other arm.
Yeah,
up through the barrier.
his arm comes through the barrier, grabs onto Eritrea, and like, oh, this is easy. Bam! Like pulls you into the barrier, and you're like your whole face.
Oh God, my shoulder!
So I'm in.
No, you bounced
Oh,
off.
okay, I bounced off. Okay, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to. I know that it was described mentally to me, but I'm going to kind of follow the silver thread towards what I assume is the one that's leading you towards the.
Yeah, you find yourself winding through these statues, and sure enough, they are all altars that are very much placed in different areas of the temple. But now that you're inside the temple, there is a. As you get closer to where the Aarakocran statue is kneeling towards one of the elven statues, you're now halfway up to the point where you can clearly see a bright red crystal stone on an altar. Behind the altar is an image of an elvish goddess holding her hands out, palms up, facing down towards this crystal. The crystal is emanating and giving off this soft red light coming from it. But your attention is also drawn to the Aarakocran. That Aarakocran statue looks almost identical to your god, only kind of like in a youngish way, like maybe in a younger form or presented in a younger form. They are kneeling in front of the elvish statue, and the elvish statue is holding a spear and a shield. They're also wearing a great helm, and they're looking down at the Aarakocran as if in judgment of the Aarakocran. The Aarakocran is on its knees, one knee with one knee down, one knee up, and seems to be casting their eyes purposely at the feet of the elvish statue. There's no Aarakocran writing or litany, but do you read Elvish by chance?
He does, yes.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
So as you stare at the base of the statue, in Sylvan it says, "The great givers of the plane of air allow us safe haven when our own place of trust is lost. And it seems to be a quote from maybe a proverb or something. It would appear that this statue is rewarding this Aarakocra. Give me an investigation as you examine the two statues in a little bit more closely detailed.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's a 17.
There's a symbol on the shield that the elvish statue holds. It's an engraving on the shield that indicates that maybe the shield is removable. It would appear that the shield shows no signs of rust or wear. And the engraving on the shield is a cloud with wings behind the cloud and a great kind of like throne built into the wings. This is very similar to the vision that you had when you communed with your god and he was sitting on a throne up amongst the clouds of his domain.
Okay. Can I go over to the altar and just very carefully try to remove that shield?
Come over. The shield easily clicks and removes. You then watch as the elven statue holding the spear, the hand of the spear opens, and the spear gently kind of floats away from the hand and lands on the ground at the Aarakocran's feet.
All right. I'm going to turn, and I assume that any of the other gods have their eyes on this place. Just kind of do a formal bow and reach down to pick up the spear.
As you reach down to pick up the spear, you're closer to the Aarakocran statue. Mm-hmm. The hand of it, the left hand of the Aarakocran statue, looks like its fist is formed as if it's holding something. And on its back, there seems to be a place that you could attach the shield.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the shield and put it on there and try to put the spear in the statue's hand.
Yeah, you slide the spear into the statue's hand. You're able to affix the shield to the back of the statue. And that's when the entire statue suddenly begins to crack. And the cracks get worse. And then the entire statue just falls into a pile of pebbles and gravel at your feet, leaving both the shield and the spear lying nearby. But then you see little trails of bubbles coming from the gravel. And in amongst the gravel, you can see a metal feather.
So I will go ahead and retrieve the sword. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to say this. The spear, the shield, and can I do an Arcana check on the feather just to kind of be a little safe?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
That's not amazing. 16. I'm sorry, 14.
It is very well preserved. It's made of a kind of brass and bronze mixture of metal. The interior portion of the feather is flaked with little bits of gold and silver. And writing on the feather seems to indicate your language. And in your native tongue, it would appear that this feather is designed to be placed into or within the hands of another statue. But you don't get the feeling that the statue is here. This feels like a place that this thing was hidden, waiting for someone like you to come by, a devotee, someone who is prescribed by your god in intent of finding this feather. The question is, where does this feather need to go next? This doesn't seem to be a place for that.
Can I pull up my original feather and just see if there's anything else, like another silver thread or anything else?
Yeah, you pull out your original feather. It is wilted and decayed.
All right. Can I take the new one and attempt to commune just to see if it'll let me? Because I don't have any way to identify it now.
Give me an intelligence save, if you would, please.
Oh, sweet. All right, intelligence save. Why is mine save? I guess that's terrible. Just as an aside, I love D&D's random bullshit. I think it's a species characteristic, but the professor is an intelligence build. Like, I deliberately set his wisdom at, like, nothing. My wisdom save is higher than my intelligence save. It makes no fucking sense. Okay, I think I did okay. That is a 19, 23 if I get to use my +4.
Is that your intelligence save modifier?
It's not that. It's a 13 plus 6, and then
you're paladin. You get to use your bonus. Absolutely.
So it's a 23.
Yeah. You have a quick flash of memory, but it's not your memory. It's somebody else's memory. You begin to realize that this feather is attuned. It's a fragment. It's a fractured fragment of something. There is a massive Aarakocra battle that takes place. An Aarakocra who is leading Aarakocrans into battle is brought down. And then you kind of come out of this flash of memory, and there is now a kind of sparkling effect coming off the metal feather.
Out of curiosity, just because I don't necessarily, because my feather is deactivated now, I don't know if I'd be able to make it back in. I know we can communicate mentally with everyone else. If I were to send like a mental image of this feather to Giancarlo, would he be able to use his goggles to identify it, or does it have to be in his face?
Identify means you have to physically touch something.
Okay.
But he can make an Arcana check on it.
All right, I'll do that real fast because he's got advantage. Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, I just rolled a 20, but I'll roll it up. The max I can get is a 21, so yeah, I got a dirty 20.
As you describe what you're holding to him, he tells you, or he recognizes it as he would recognize it as a token or a presentation or a fragment of a greater piece of a larger whole. He gets a feeling that this has come off of another statue, or it's come off of the surface of another monolithic kind of presentation of your eagle god. He gets a feeling that if someone were to use either the scry ability, you could potentially scry on where this came from at some point.
All right, so that's not something I'm going to be able to do, but can I do a quick investigation around the place just to see if there's anything else that looks germane to what I'm looking for here?
With your original investigation, this seems to be the only thing related. Otherwise, the only other thing here is the red crystal that's up on the altar in front of the elvish statue, the very back of the temple.
I definitely want to do an Arcana check on that, and depending on how that goes, I might have to have Giancarlo look at it. But
yeah,
so
go ahead and give me an Arcana check as you approach it.
Nat 20. That is a 26. Right. Nat 20. Thanks, little dragon guy.
The crystal is definitely magical. You could see magic energy inside of its interior. It's also pulsing with a red light that gives off these waves of dim red light from where it's pulsing with inside of it. There is, for the first time in your life, as you approach it to get a good look at it, you feel this overwhelming terror and fear. You back up away from it, that goes away. You get a little bit closer, it gets you have this sense of terror overwhelming you.
All right. Does it feel like it, with the Arcana roll, does it feel like it's trying to protect or obscure something, or does it feel like that's just intrinsic to that crystal?
With that Arcana roll, the one thing that you would pick up, it's the same color of energy that raw rudium seems to give off as well. You get the feeling that you're looking at a crystal that has been fabricated out of raw rudium, and that maybe the fear that you get, that you sense from it, is kind of like the residual effect of what rudium's kind of like necrotic energy that was refined out of this crystal. This crystal feels important. This crystal feels like it's got a purpose, but you're not entirely sure what that purpose is.
Just see if I can do something. Okay. I would like to try to. How big is the crystal? Sorry if you were.
It's about the size of a grapefruit.
Okay. So I'm going to go over and just with a piece of cloth, like my old clothing, or just try to just wrap it around there and pick it up.
As you touch it, you get a flash of someone else's memory. This image forms in your mind. There is a priest, an elvish priest. They're exhausted. They're kneeling in front of this altar. You watch as they then walk up the altar, place the crystal on the altar, and then turn to leave the interior of the temple, and then the memory fades, and you find yourself holding the crystal wrapped in cloth.
All right.
You also take a point of exhaustion as well.
Okay. Okay, I meant to record that. Mission, exhaustion. I'm not grappled anymore. Go away.
And I would imagine that, Professor, you could describe everything you're doing mentally, so everyone is like understanding what you're currently doing.
All right, so I'm going to kind of turn back to where the statue was standing before it crumbled, and just kind of do like another bow just to show some honor or reverence to it. And I'm going to walk back out. All right, let's see if it'll let me out with crystal in my hand.
Yeah, you're easily passed through the barrier, and like Giancarlo says, how do you do that? And like presses on the barrier after you come back through it, unable to enter into it. But you come back out holding the spear and shield, as well as the kind of like folded up cloth tucked into one of your bags that you carry on your person. What would you guys like to do next?
Kind of in our off time, like I don't necessarily want to do this as just for timing purposes because we only got 40 minutes left. Can I have Giancarlo identify those like in as we're moving along? Like I said, just to not take up time, so I know what they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Professor, how are you feeling?
I'm not going to lie, that was kind of intense. I could use a bit of a nap. That was I'm gonna say 6-7.
Minus 45 million points. You guys would pick up on the fact that Professor Jabatros looks very tired. His eyes are bloodshot. His physical features look a little bit grayed, like lack of sleep, poor circulation. There's a kind of a tint of illness that kind of is on the edge of his physical.
I'm gonna cast Greater Restoration on him.
Okay.
So I know this is one of those little things. I
No.
love the fact that oh God, what'd you do?
I rolled a 2 plus 8. That's a 10. That fails.
Yes, it does. Any spell checks that fail in the Temple of the Archheart are automatically resolved on the Surge table.
I'm glad I'm not very close to you right now.
Yeah, did you guys come back yet, or are you still at the temple?
53. 5-3 is
53.
what I rolled ID100.
Come on, buddy.
Roll 5d6 for me, Eritrea.
Yeah. $5d6.
Houdini, come on, man. I love how I just accidentally threw the little idiot in my chair. That was nice.
17.
17. You take 17 points of necrotic damage as every vessel.
What
in your
about my
body-
aura of life? What if I had my aura of life around me?
You could have it. You can go ahead and have the damage. It does make you resistant. You feel this necrotic energy rupture out of your physicality, and you fail to cast the spell. But it only seems to affect you, not other people. You got lucky with that 53. That's an average failure.
I'm going to try Great Restoration again.
Right.
I got it this time. 12 plus 8. So Greater Restoration.
20? Yeah. So with that Greater Restoration, you are able to heal 1 point of exhaustion on Professor Jalbatros. His physicality appears to get a little bit better after the Greater Restoration. Although there's a thin veil of something else that is kind of there, pervasive. You get the feeling it might be connected to the crystal that he recovered.
Oh, so I'll kick off my point of exhaustion in just a second. But can I hand or show the crystal to Eritrea and just like, does this mean anything to you, Mr. Eritrea?
Eritrea, you do recognize it. It was a picture or image of one of the drawings in one of the journals. This is what they call the Archheart, or the rudium stone, or rudium crystal. It is believed that an individual, through research of lore, it is believed that a very powerful elven priest during the time of the destruction of the city, or just before it was destroyed, an individual that goes by the name of Alexion the Apotheon would appear to have set the crystal within the Temple of the Archheart in a veiled attempt to try to protect the city from destruction and prevent Grumash from destroying the city by opening the rift. There was also a note that says anyone in possession of the crystal and who can attune to it would allow up to 7 to 10 people to then safely enter the rift.
Ooh.
But there are many cautionary writings that you read that no one has yet been able to figure out how to do it. Because to take physical possession of it forces people into a permanent state of exhaustion. The crystal itself is said to be made of refined rudium.
Let's see something else.
Okay.
You also get the feeling that there may be a spell requirement to get the crystal to function, but you're not entirely sure what that would be.
Can I get an indication of what? Well, it's like necrotic magic, probably, I assume, right?
You get the feeling that the necrotic sense of the threat of the rudium has been mostly refined out of it by magic. The crystal itself is a bare kind of minimum of rudium that's been contained within the crystal. That feels like the material component. There should be some kind of spell or ceremony or ritual spell that has to be conducted in conjunction with the possession of the crystal. It would appear that no one's been able to resolve that yet. All the readings and writings that you had kind of interpreted in the Royal Library tells you this is but one of two parts of a whole. Once you figure out the other part, you and your friends could probably gain access to the Netherdeep.
Hey, we have a really old, very talented mage elf in our group that also likes to parlay into hiding crazy, strong magical objects with mountains dropped on him in his spare
Now,
time.
to be clear, Thorn, I am an arcanist. I'm not a divinist. I don't technically believe in gods, for God's sake.
I feel like the professor
involvement
was
in sealing a lesser god should have proven that point to you already.
Your language betrays you, sir.
I feel like the professor just kind of leans over. It's like,
I mean, not to. I don't want to. What is it? Because Hard sane, buddy. Hard sane. Well, that is what the kids these days say, right, dear?
I don't
You
know.
say hard same and show up with a metal feather that belongs to your god that you're a devotee of.
Boromir, would you have?
I have
This
no
whole
problem.
side quest just for you, for your little venture in your
while these
god.
two bicker with each other, Dormir, do you have any idea of what this type of spell would be used for? Would be used for this?
The only thing I could think of is that perhaps it's a prayer.
Prayer.
I mean, it's part of a ritual or ceremony. If it's a component of a ritual or ceremony, I would imagine it's part of a prayer ceremony, perhaps.
Maybe you gotta wait till midnight and get down on your knees, and then start reciting a prayer. I heard a song, something about that, like in the midnight hour, you can feel the power. Down on your knees, it'll take you there.
Dora just looks at Thorn. You're an idiot, and swims away.
I guess that was like a prayer, not actually a prayer. But I thought if it was a spell, it's like a prayer. It's not actually a prayer, right?
Sorry, Ford, I'll post it in the Discord, but you just SNBC did like the best like arcane dialogue I think like years ago. I gotta find it because it's one of my favorite comics ever. You just reminded me of it, so I'll post it in the chat.
So say a little prayer, cast a magically spell on the arch heart. Arches. Think it has anything to do with the Fae?
I thought we were going to busy ourselves with rescuing the Bright Queen and Jaman Sa'od before we.
Yeah, Bright Queen might have an indication of what this should be.
Sure. Off we
Should
go.
we try to turn Jaman, see if we could get up in this spire of sorts?
I think, if I recall the map, we're swimming down here, so we don't have to take a path. We can just swim up. But it looks like I wonder if we don't go to the ruined watchtower first and then swim across, we might be in better shape. Swim up, over to M13, and then make our way across to the actual watchtower.
Yes, I agree with that. Melody, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. We should swim down and around.
Everyone, go ahead and give me fresh stealth checks as you begin to swim towards the other ruined structure.
Oh, it's a nat 20, so I got 31.
Nice.
So it doesn't matter because it's still fine. But I'm rolling for the professor first. I rolled a 10. It's like, all right, well, he gets disadvantage, and then of course I get a 20. So, but he still gets I believe, was it because we all have plus 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I still get a 24 on that. No roll for Giancarlo. It's like, all right.
I got a 15.
Ooh, 15.
I rolled a nat
So,
20 for a 42.
Giancarlo got a dirty 20 by rolling a 1. Don't ask how the 6-foot-tall pink pirate Aarakocra is incredibly stealthy, but he is.
I got a 42.
As you guys all begin to swim, you kind of swim the periphery of a collapsed building, which is M10, and you're now swimming up and around the backside of the collapsed guard tower, which is the M13. The mostly intact tower is the M14. Now that you're up a little bit higher and under the cover of the collapsed guard tower, looking over at the other one, you can see creatures swimming on the edge of that tower, moving around it as if in a kind of patrol-like pace. You can also see that they don't seem to be humanoid or merfolk. They have a strange kind of bulbous-looking body and maybe a dozen tentacles coming off the underside of their body. There's at least 5 of them swimming around the base of the tower. The tower itself is 3 stories tall. As you look at the upper walls of the tower, you can see that there are other creatures similar to the ones down below that are swimming around it as well. And according, at this point, do you cast locate object, Thorn?
Are we within 1,000 feet?
Oh yeah, you're within like 150 feet of it. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as we're within 1,000 feet, I'll try to cast locate object.
Yeah, go for it.
That's 4 dice. Let's try that again. I rolled a 12, so that helps because it's a level 2 spell. So
you're good.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
Inside the tower, the locate object of the other part of the damaged bracer pings back in response to you. So the Bright Queen or Jamansa Ord is definitely inside the tower.
Okay. Eritro, did you mention the Bright Queen was? Oh, yeah, you did tell us the Bright Queen.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I can, with the piece of the bracer that we got from Corinna, the Bright Queen is. Jamansa Ord is definitely in that tower. I can sense it. We're awfully close to him right now.
Well, let's get to him. I know there's guards, but do we have any way to distract them? Or I feel like can go pretty unseen right now. Thorn, you're pretty stealthy. Melody?
I'm not very stealthy. I have a number of ways to distract people, or I could try and look like one of those guys.
My only worry would be if they try to talk to you. We don't know what they speak at this range.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like the thought of bringing more prisoners into the tower, though.
Oh God, excuse me.
Can I try to sneak around the tower and get to an isolated one of those creatures?
Get to an isolated what?
Like to one of those like assuming the creature things are patrolling, right?
Well, they're swimming around. You can't really get a clear view of them yet because of the murkiness of the water.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is get closer to the tower to where I can get near one of those that's isolated and try and grab it to get out what it is, like snatching a guard kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely look like medium in size. Their lower body is a series of tentacles. Their upper body is just kind of like this fleshy mass. I mean, you've got a pretty high stealth. So I'll say that you swim along the edge of the lake bed where you have cover. You come up around so that you can get a clear view. Give me a nature check as you examine one of them that's kind of swimming on its own near the edge of the tower.
It's a 15 plus 1 is a 16.
These are what would be called aboleth spawns. They have a direct psychic connection with the greater aboleth. All of their communication is done telepathically. They are probably immune to psychic as well.
So I'm gonna speak back to our group with our connection. I believe these are aboleth spawns. They're like minions of the big guy. They have a connection to it, and anything we do to one of these, I'm sure, is going to get a reaction out of the big one too.
But anything we do to the big one, you think would get a reaction out of them?
Yes. I mean, Thorn is going to just
big
suspect
one.
that anyway, right?
Can we do some? Do you want to fire a shot at the big one to maybe distract? Maybe you should have shot it.
I've been trying to fire a shot at the big one since we were way back in the other area.
I might be all for this now.
Melvy's like, you want to shoot something that's the size of a small town? That makes no
Hey.
sense.
Look, we fought giant metal objects that fell from the sky and destroyed the Chandei Quorum Tower, and we survived.
What?
We fought a giant space centipede thing.
How fast
and
does a
survived,
bullet move
and
underwater?
found its eggs.
Ford, how fast does a bullet move underwater?
They're magic bullets, so it's I don't know, magically fast.
Do these things seem like they're beasts?
They
Uh,
definitely would be described as creatures.
Okay.
They're spawns of an aboleth.
Could I use speak with animals to talk to them?
I think you
Let me
just
double
answered my
check
question
their.
there, Lauren, so.
Let me double check their stat block. Yes, not what you would consider them to be verbose creatures, but they are. You could probably communicate with them, but
Okay.
I believe
Well,
speak with animals is a verbal thing that you have to do, not telepathic.
Yeah, I mean, I can make sounds underwater, right?
And
I mean, Ford would have told you that they have a telepathic link to the big one. Like they're are telepathic communicators.
Mm-hmm. I can communicate.
Thorn, because you're closer,
Uh-huh.
give me a perception check, if you would, please.
Sure. Not great. Not terrible, but not great. That's a 14.
At the base of the tower, there's an exposed collapse of stone that looks like there's a 4-foot crack that's maybe 4 foot tall and 2 foot wide that exposes a possible entry into the base of the tower.
Look,
Also, Giancarlo tells you, Professor Jalbatros, the spear is called the Sky Anchor.
We were talking in the chat. He's only able to do that once per dawn. So, let's just say he does the spear, and I'll have.
Okay. I will drop the details of, and the spear is in D&D Beyond, but I'll drop it in the Discord for you.
I got you. And like I said about the shield, I'll have Thorn identify it later. So, because he can only do it once per dawn.
I love that gif of Will Smith with the little octopus baby from Men in Black. Cracks me up.
Forn is going to communicate back like, look, there's a hole in the wall here. I'm sure I can get inside. I don't know what I'm going to find inside, but I can definitely get inside, and I think I'm pretty well unseen at the moment.
Cool equipment.
Give me a fresh stealth check, Born, as you try to make your way towards the gap in the wall.
Yep. That's a 16 plus 22 is a 38.
38. You begin to swim along the lake bottom using the natural cover and the foliage of the underwater plants as a easy way to make your direct approach towards the gap. You begin to count the timing of the creatures as they swim in semicircle or circular patterns near the midsection, upper section, and some of the the offshoot sections of the tower. You wait until the connection's just right, and you swim towards the gap, and you're able to pull yourself into the gap of the tower, and you're now in the bottom section of the tower. Two things that you can see immediately. You can see Jamansa Ord, and you can see the Bright Queen. They are both in these force boxes of... You get the feeling that somehow somebody has gotten their hands on some keystone and have made these two little kind of like force cages out of these keystones. And inside each one has Jamansa Ord and one has the Bright Queen. They are conscious. They look incredibly weak, emaciated, like they've been in here for a while. Meanwhile, you can't help but notice that coiled around the entire interior bottom of the tower is this massive tentacle, a single tentacle that is hundreds of feet long, that is coiled up in the bottom of the tower and sitting directly underneath the two suspended force boxes of Keystone. You don't even have to make a guess. There's only one person you know of that could throw something like this together.
Yep. And his name starts with a C and sounds like Blimp.
Yep.
I'll link back to the group. Noticing some of Crimp's handiwork here, but I've got eyes on the Bright Queen and Jamon's Ord. They're in very rough shape, but they're both alive. It's force cages with the keystones, and a gigantic tentacle at the bottom, looping around the inside of this place. Dormir, do you have any ideas on how to perhaps deactivate these keystones?
Well, if they follow the same nature of their construct, I believe a simple placed crack on the edge of the keystone will disaffect its power, collapsing the barrier and allowing you access to the interior. Keep in mind that will flood them. You may need to apply underwater breathing potions to them as well. I doubt that they are under that effect.
Okay. He gave us underwater breathing potions earlier because all the rest of them are in the thing, the
portable hole.
Portable hole, which I'm not going to open in here because it'll flood it.
It'll flood it.
But Dormir gave us that bag of potions that had water breathing potions in it, so I'll grab 2 out of it. I think there was 3.
There were 3. Yep.
There's no one else in the room here. There's not like this is essentially empty inside of here.
Yeah, it's a round tower interior base. There is a stairwell that leads up to another level, but there are no signs of those creatures that were swimming outside. There's no signs of anything else in here as far as you can tell, just this massive coiled tentacle in the base. You've been in here long enough, though. I need you to give me an intelligence save, if you would, please.
Okay. Intelligence save. Not great. That's a 12.
You begin to realize there's a psychic barrier in here.
Mm-hmm.
Like you begin to kind of move a little bit close to get a better vantage point to get access to the keystones that have formed their encasements. And it's almost as if your mind feels like muddled thoughts. Like you lose focus. You have a hard time keeping your thoughts straight. You get the feeling that the initial effects of detect thoughts almost comes into effect as you get too close to the 2 barriers.
Mm-hmm.
You get the feeling that this tentacle is connected to the main body of the aboleth, and it is using it as a means to detect anyone trying to approach these 2.
Can I see where the tentacle comes in?
Okay.
Like, is it like? Well, I mean, where it comes in to loop around?
No, you can't see that at all, which tells you it's coming from underneath, like it's coming from underground.
Okay.
You get the feeling that it kind of like probably created some kind of crater or entrance directly underneath the tower, and it's just kind of like over time coiled itself into the base of the tower.
Okay, I'm gonna swim up to the cages and like get the attention of the Bright Queen and Jamon's Ord.
I will give you a warning because your Arcana is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You will trigger detect thoughts without a save if you do that.
Okay.
Because your Arcana is good enough to realize that the psychic barrier here is designed to let the aboleth know that someone's entered the tower or gets too close to the 2 force containers that hold Jamon's Ord and the Bright Queen.
Okay. I'm going to talk to Eritreo since we're still connected.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't think I have much time in here. I need you to message Jamon's Ord and or the Bright Queen both. Let them know that I'm in the room. I've got potions of water breathing for them. I'm about to crack open their cells. I have an idea based on what Dormir said. I'm going to try and crack open the cells, but I've got the water breathing potions. I needed to look and see me. I'm making myself visible to them.
All right. Oh well. I mean,
Yeah, it means
Roll.
Ertro's got to make that spellcasting roll.
I rolled an 8, so plus 8.
So
That's
16, you're good.
Jamon,
So no, I got a quick question for you when you get a chance.
Okay. Go ahead, Ertro.
Jamon, Eritrea of the PCs. Remember to break you out with water potion. Be prepared with BQ.
You get the feeling that they received your message but are unable to respond. Probably the effect of the psychic suppression in that area. However, Forn, you look towards the two force cages. You could see both Jamon and the Bright Queen start looking around, and because you purposely make yourself visible, they can see you now. Their eyes go wide, their mouths move, but they're unable to be heard because of the force that's generated around them. You notice that they point down towards the tentacle and then kind of tap onto their heads at the same time, kind of indicating to you that there's a psychic presence around them.
Let me check my inventory real quick.
Melody's like, great, he's gonna do something, and then we all pay the cost.
Hey, it's all in good fun.
That doesn't look like a party.
Yeah, I am going to so with 2 attacks for action, I'm trying to fire at both of the runes, like in quick succession.
Okay, so you're going to...
Or both of the keystones, rather, in quick succession.
So you're taking shots.
Yes.
All right.
Because
Let me...
I'm far away. I can see the stones, right?
You can see them.
I'm not far away, but I'm and based on Dormir's comment, crack the stone should pop it open. Firing at them should crack the stone, or hitting them with a bullet should crack the stones, or crack the keystones.
So, ranged weapons underwater automatically miss beyond normal range and have disadvantage within range, unless using a crossbow, net, or thrown weapon like a spear or trident. Non-piercing ranged attacks like bows are hardly ineffective, and fully submerged targets gain resistance to damage done by ranged weapons. So piercing damage does normal damage, but you would be taking these 2 shots at disadvantage unless you have some other skill that prevents that from happening.
I will use Zephyr Strike, and I can't stack advantage. I was gonna say I would use Zephyr Strike and Steady Aim because I'm not moving. I would settle.
Well, remember that we use the homebrew AP system. Oh, we got rid of the stacking advantages because it's too hard to follow. So if you do Zephyr Strike, that would allow you to take 2 normal shots.
But I also could do as a rogue, or as the rogue feature, I could also do Steady Aim with a ranged weapon, which would also give advantage. It just means I have to stay put for my first action and then fire on my second action,
which allows you to make. Gotcha. Because technically we're not in initiative. I like that. So go ahead and give me 2.
So like I'm doing the Robert Muldoon, like unfolding the stock, clicking it back, one eye on the tentacle, one eye on the stones.
Yeah, go ahead and give me 2 ranged attacks with advantage.
Would be straight because they should be disadvantaged, so they'd be straight rolls, right?
Well, yeah, but then you said you're using Zephyr Strike.
I'm not stacking it. I can't stack advantage, so I'm just. If I could Zephyr Strike, I'll stack advantage. But
I'm okay with that because we're not technically in initiative, and I like the
Okay, I'll then let me roll to cast Zephyr Strike real quick.
Okay.
That's a 13, so that'll cast.
Yep, that'll cast.
Yep. And then advantage. So the first shot is a 14 plus 10 is a 24 to hit.
24 will hit. Go ahead and roll that. Well, you only need to do 1 point of damage, so roll to hit the other one now.
Yep.
Because these are very delicate and easily damaged items.
That's another 14, so that's another 24 to hit.
Yeah, that will hit as well. You watch it's both shots.
Yep.
Crack the first keystone. It crumbles. You watch as the barrier collapses, and now the Bright Queen is floating in water. You watch as the second keystone cracks. And you notice that Jamansa Ord is now floating in the water. You then watch as the massive tentacle begins to vibrate underneath what just happened. Those of you outside looking in, you watch as 24 of those creatures begin to mass gather around the exterior of the tower and immediately swim up towards its top and disappear down into the interior of the tower as well. That's where we're going to finish tonight, because next week we're going to be rolling for initiative.
I believe that's your cue, everybody.
Hey, quick question for you, just because before we end. One of the things I didn't notice, I was going through my spell list. The professor can do identify. It's not a prepared spell, but can I roll for that? Just it takes like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
A ritual spell too. So
yeah. Oh, I rolled a nat 20, so he's fine. So can you shoot me?
And
the
that's kind of
details on the
important
shield?
because then the next spell you cast is automatic.
Nice.
Because
All
of
right,
that.
so you might shoot me the details on the shield later.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be now.
Yeah, I've actually got the shield here for you. It is called Arrow Catching Shield. Copy that, and I will drop that for you in the Discord. Cool. You guys go ahead and linger so we can talk about the schedule. Everyone else, thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching us. We're only about a month away from being back on our regular schedule. But for now, everyone be safe, be kind, and don't forget, play a game. Good night, everybody. One of these days, I'll remember to press the button. I almost did the old outro.